Have you
We're
figured
getting,
out?
yeah, we're getting started, everybody. It looks like all I'm supposed to
Oh,
do
I can
is,
stream to my audience. Yeah.
yeah, stream to your audience, just get warmed up. All I'm supposed to do is say go live.
What did we call this? Aquarius Advancement.
Yeah, Aquarius Advancements.
I love that.
So is it live? Is anybody on Instagram that can tell me if it's live?
I can look.
every every time. Hey Desiree, thanks for your patience. I saw that it was snowing profusely in your neck of the woods. Um, okay, it says it. I feel like it's live on Instagram.
Okay, let me look real quick.
Okay, and then we got it on you too. Awesome. So while Celeste is doing some tech support here, I'll just let you guys know that
Yes,
we wanted
we're
to.
live on Instagram. Hey,
Oh,
hey,
hey, we did
hey.
it! Awesome.
Now, if you can, I don't know if you could do this. If you can make me a collaborator, I can share it on my wall on Instagram too.
Okay.
But not
From
now. That would be at the
Yeah,
end.
at the end. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I don't know if you can.
I bet we'll find out. So we're doing it through StreamYard. So we wanted to get together to talk about all of this Aquarius business going on, and I swear it feels like a Mercury retrograde moment. Like all this whole week has been kind of that way for both of us, where there's just been these little things, and I think that getting together and talking in community about what's going on in the stars and the skies is going to be super beneficial, and maybe you'll find some commonalities and be able to like lessen the load a little bit. So just before we got started, it was Celeste was in a financial astrology class, which was super cool. Do you want to share a little bit about what was going on there?
Yes, yeah. So it's
Yeah.
Kelly Surtees. She's a wonderful astrologer and talking about judging the finances from the natal chart and this one. And so we look at the second house, that's our money, and the eighth house, that's our partner's money, also taxes, inheritances, it's shared assets and things like that. Now, something new I learned through her is about also judging the progressed moon phase. And she was
Mm.
talking about, how when the progressed moon is in its bright phases, so that's the first quarter through the just before the last quarter, so I guess you would say the disseminating phase, this is when that can aid that waxing brightness can aid in your ability to gain more income. Yeah,
Okay.
and something else new that I learned, and I just started my disseminating phase. I mean, not my disseminating, my last quarter. So the
Oh,
lights
you're
are
watching
going
this.
out. Uh-oh.
Okay. Okay.
No, it's okay. You can still earn in the darker, but it's a little harder. Um, and then the assessing the fifth and the 11th house as well for money matters. So the fifth house can speak to your families. It's the resources of the family. So that can speak to something about, your money states and when an inheritance might come. And the 11th house is the second from the 10th. So it's the money you make from the work you do.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and talking about, and I had my son there, and she was talking about, how having your son there or Jupiter there, blah blah blah, can show ability for earning income. Yes, and
Okay.
then assessing the transits to the ruler of the second and eighth, fifth and 11th for money matters,
Hmm.
as well as Jupiter or Saturn going through those houses. So when Saturn goes through those houses, it's a time to consolidate. It can be like there's less money, but Saturn is earned success. So if you keep steady with things, it could be a time where maybe you're paying off debt. But people start freaking out when they see Saturn coming to these houses. But when Saturn was going through my eighth house, I quit my corporate job. So that, like, my income went to zero for a little bit,
Hmm.
and mhm,
You
I
know,
was
when I
willing to
had Saturn going through my second, it was one of the best money years I've ever had. And I think it's
mm,
because I was disciplined about it. Um, but yeah, so we've got, I love that. So if you missed Kelly's workshop, you just got a nice recap from Celeste. And Desiree says, "Show me the money," and she said, "Sex, death, and taxes." She's always going to remember that. Learning the eighth house. And Alejandra says that she's really felt like she should take a course about finances. She's got a stellium in Scorpio placements in her eighth house, so it's really appropriate to be talking about.
Yeah. So
Now,
Pluto.
why I thought we should talk about this is, oh, are we delayed?
Oh, you just went silent for a bit. I wanted to say about the eighth house stellium. Pluto is going to be squaring that, and Pluto is a planet of extremes, so it could bring in a big, like there could be some flux in of money, or flux, unexpected, like flux out. So pay close attention to your finances as well as your partners. Yeah.
Amazing. And Tamlin says Saturn's in her second in her natal chart, and so she's also going through her Saturn opposition. So yeah,
thinking about so that could be tests around financial things.
And Brittany says Pluto just went into her fifth. Okay, Pluto's really, squaring it. Why I thought this was such a good fit to talk about this, guys, is first of all, what we're working our way to be talking about is that we've got 5 planets moving into Aquarius, and we've got the new moon in Aquarius here in February. So February 4th through 16th, we've got a lot of movement out of Capricorn and into Aquarius. And so Capricorn is kind of more of that financial financial sign that we look at for things with having to do with business, having to do with career, many other things. But it is one of those wealth building signs. And this morning I got a call that my daughter's accounts had been closed because she turned 18, and we had missed some paperwork that actually we didn't miss because it got returned to the bank from the post office. And so there's been all of this financial upheaval this morning where I had to reopen all of our accounts, like do all of this stuff. And then it got me fired up. I was like, rawr about it. So I went ahead and did a lot of financial tidying up this morning that I wasn't planning on doing. So I've got where all of this Capricorn energy is in my second house. It's also the second house of the Sibley chart of the United States. And so this kind of closing up and tidying up things having to do with large financial institutions, as all of these planets are just having a lot of energy at the end of Capricorn, was making a lot of sense for me. I didn't even realize you were taking a finance class, but it's all kind of beautifully coming together,
Well, you know what? This Mercury conjunct Mars transit was really loud. And so last Friday, Mercury and Mars met, and then they each squared the nodes, first Mercury, then Mars. And then this week, they both are sextile Neptune. So your child, Mercury rules children, and Mars rules problems. And because some paperwork, Mercury rules paperwork in the second house of money, sextile Neptune, the paperwork was missing. Neptune, it's gone, it's dissolved. You had these financial issues come up. It's like clockwork.
Just like clockwork. And I wasn't planning on it, but then the Mars side really, like I said, stimulated me to just close and consolidate some other accounts, tidy things up, and be fresh and ready and consolidated for our next chapter, that we're going into. So interesting how it all comes together.
Yeah,
right?
you're in Capricorn, so stuff gets real in the Earth house, Earth sides. And for me, can I just say, I think this was 2 days ago when Mercury was sextile Neptune. I was this alignable platform for what is it called? For small businesses, for networking. It's a social networking. I posted something, and I meant to share it just with my connections in Alignable. Well, I shared it with like 200 and some people. So I had people reaching out to me about, and it's in my seventh house of the other of my clients, my partners, those one-on-one relationships. So all these people, I don't know if they got emails or whatever from me about this alignable. Several people joined. They were like, "Oh, thanks for telling me about this." But I was like, "Sorry, it was an accident." It was
Right?
a mistake. Cloudy thinking, Mercury, sextile Neptune.
You know, and I mean, the same thing happened. Like we forgot to record your class the other night. My newsletter that went out had a wrong time in it. I had a Zoom class yesterday where Zoom just completely shut down twice. But fortunately, my attendees all stayed there and waited for me. I had internet, I had power. I don't know. This never happened before. My computers, I have memory, I have storage. But there's just been some wacky things like that, you know?
Yeah,
So,
well, astrology foundations. so I'm teaching my astrology foundations 201 class. So this is for if you know the planet signs, houses, and aspects, that you have the basics and want to go deeper. And Tiffany is taking this class with me. And I decided to add a second, thank God, I decided to add a second class teaching the same thing. So I teach class Wednesday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific, and then the following Thursday at 10 a.m. I was teaching the same material because I have people in Europe and Australia and all over who like to take my classes. So anyway, on Wednesday, I'm using this new platform in Kajabi, and I forgot to record. Long story short, I was discombobulated and like confused, Mercury sextile Neptune, and I'm like, "Oh, record," and then I don't know what happened, and I didn't push the button. And so Mars, so the class wasn't recorded, but I'll be teaching it again this Thursday, so everybody will get to have a recording. But it was like, oh, I am going back to Zoom. I decided.
well, which I mean, may or may not be helpful since my Zoom totally shut down altogether, anyways.
Well,
But
Mercury's going to be in Aquarius, so that Neptunian influence was like a mini Mercury retrograde is going to be over. But
okay.
Mercury Pluto, it maybe the lights may go out in the whole world. But no.
Right. So, Alejandra, yes, you can still sign up. You can still take it. I'll put a link in the comments for you to join Celeste's class. And you're right, you know, with Pluto there, all of that unearthing of stuff. And really, it's not just like a blip in the energy system, it's a like complete severing of the course, right?
Please don't let Instagram or YouTube go down. You can take down Twitter.
Yeah, take some of the other ones down.
Not any of the platforms I use, please.
Or Zoom. Geez, we've all just moved to Zoom, you know, during this time, and God, that was a real bummer. That really freaked me out.
We're joking about it, but Pluto is a planet that is deeply transformative. It evolves. It can break things down to the studs in order to be rebuilt. It has the energy of a nuclear power plant kind of thing. It can be very, and it has a mass influence. So plutonic events affect a lot of people. And it's in the sign of Aquarius, which rules technology. Aquarius is an air sign. It rules communication. Yeah, it could be like poisoned air could be something around Pluto in Aquarius.
Ooh.
Now, the beauty of it, I mean, yeah, and Mercury coming to get it. Mercury rules commerce, transportation, and what's the other thing? Communication.
Yeah.
So one thing that let's hope doesn't happen, but the Houthi rebels these are rebels in the leadership in Yemen. They've been attacking ships in the Red Sea because they're angry about the war in Israel. And the United States and the United Kingdom have taken action and I guess did some bombing of airports in their country. And they said, you do this again, and we are going to cut the fiber optic cable in whatever the Red Sea there that connects Europe the Middle East and Africa in terms of internet communications, and all sorts of information goes over this cable that's on the bottom of the ocean. Um, that is Saturn in Pisces, a problem in the water with Pluto in Aquarius that causes this big problem potentially with communications. I'm worried about Jupiter and Gemini square Saturn on August, I think something, August 18th, if that could
It's
be
August
some like kind of
19th.
thing.
Yeah, Jupiter square
Mhm.
Saturn August 19th and again December 24th, right? So next year
Mhm.
twice, two times. And something that we talked about in the 2024 forecast was that Sarah brought up that, you know, when COVID was announced out there in the world in December, I mean, announced, you know, when we were all experiencing it and understanding what was happening in December of 2020, it was when Jupiter and Saturn were conjunct. Well, now this August, right? Well, they will be square for the first time. So more information being revealed to the public, right? Whether
Mhm.
that's good news about health reform or health advances, or you know, who knows exactly how that's going to play out. But that's the first time that the conversation has really shifted astrologically. So yeah, this August and December, more will be told about that story. That's terrifying about the thinking about them cutting that massive fiber optic cable. Um,
Mhm. It
you
could be
know,
a real mess because that would cause chaos.
total
Co-
chaos, total
Yeah.
chaos. So
Hmm.
let me give everybody the dates. We've got the Sun and Pluto are in Aquarius right now. Tomorrow, Sunday, February 4th, my Mimi's birthday, Mercury moves into Aquarius. On February 9th, we'll have the new moon in Aquarius. Let's put a pin in that because I want to talk in depth about that because it squares Jupiter, Uranus, right? And then February 12th, Mars will enter Aquarius. February 16th, Venus will enter Aquarius, and the fixed signs are going to have some action here with Venus, Mars, you know, the new moon for a moment, and then Mercury, Sun, and Pluto. That's a lot. That's a lot. So, how,
Is
and
because when each of those enters Aquarius, Mars, Mercury first, then Mars, then Venus, the first thing they do is have a conjunction with Pluto, and conjunctions fuse the energy. So there is, at 0 degrees is the first degree of the sign. There will be events we see in the news that relate to these transits. Yeah.
mhm.
So it's going to
And
be
so, you know, if
really
you're
watch
thinking
to
about,
see what happens around those days in your own life, because it'll tell you something about your Pluto and Aquarius story that's going to be going on for the next 20 years.
yeah, good point, right? Good point with the
Hmm.
next 20 years. And so also there's a new 2.5 year cycle that starts with this new moon, right? So this new
Hmm.
moon is February 9th in Aquarius. Um, in that 2.5 year cycle, it starts then. The first quarter moon happens 9 months later, which is November 9th of this year. The full moon 9 months later happens August 9th of 2025. And then the last quarter moon completing this moon family cycle is May 9th of 2026. So we're looking for closure and completion around what's starting now around that time. So how do you use all this stuff? You know, if you know where 20 degrees of Aquarius is in your chart, this is what is being activated. This moon, like we were talking about, it squares Jupiter and Uranus there in 2021 of Taurus, right? So I think that there's going to be some real big breakthroughs that are unpredictable, or you know, my internet just keeps saying it's unstable. Are you still with me?
I am. I see it. I see you. You glitched a little bit, but you're doing okay.
And so thinking about this new moon, right? I want to just also pitch that I'm teaching a big new moon workshop on February 10th. It's a 4-hour workshop, and so if
Oh,
you
wow.
are interested in really incorporating the moon from the different signs, from the different houses, working with eclipses, working with your new moon map, working with your lunar birth phase, and just doing a deep dive into your moon studies. I'm doing that at Lisa Williams School, and I'll put that link. And it's on February 10th, which is kind of fun because it's the Lunar New Year. And you can use the code DES for $25 off. So if you would like to join me there on the February 10th, then we can keep talking about how that works out for you. But right now, looking at that part of your chart. So if you guys know where 20 degrees Aquarius is in your chart, this can help you understand what story and what themes are really activated right now.
Yeah, wonderful. I'm going to create a coupon for I'm having a new moon in Aquarius workshop tomorrow.
Oh,
and I want to
good.
create a coupon for people here if they want to come for
Yeah.
$10 off. Wait, I'm going to call it Tiffany 10.
I love it. Tiffany 10. And to really work with the moons, it's a study that you do over time, right? Like we live in this instant gratification.
Uh-oh. I don't hear you, Tiffany. Uh-oh, Tiffany has frozen. Can people hear me? Please write in the comments if you can hear me. Okay, so you can hear me. Can you hear Tiffany too? Ah, it's just me. Okay. Sorry. It looks like Tiffany had a problem. I'm sure she'll be back. But yes, there's a new moon in Aquarius tomorrow. We were talking about at 20 degrees Aquarius, and it's going to square Uranus pretty tightly. We already know part of the story is that what's going on in the Middle East with the Biden administration sent off some rockets there. But Uranus is the great awakener, and a square is tense, so it can be like you were like frozen, and I'm like Tiffany, Tiffany, Tiffany.
It's the morning, guy.
People, can you hear me? Can you hear Tiffany? So yeah, and then you just went away. So we realized what was happening. Yes, don't worry about it. It is Mars sextile Neptune is getting louder, and you are a Scorpio rising. So Mars is not a Scorpio rising, a Scorpio sun. Mars rules. Yeah, yeah. Mars is important in your chart.
Right. Well, thank you for your patience. What did I interrupt? What did I miss? Where were you?
No, I was just talking about the new moon. So Desiree says it's 20 degrees in Aquarius is in her 12th house. So this is a good time for maybe some seclusion, working on your rituals for sleep and mental health, all that sort of thing. You may need to like take a rest. Whenever there's something in the 12th house, think about what you want to end that is no longer serving you, I think. What do you think about a 12th house new moon?
Well, I'm in the middle of Carmen Schott. Oh my gosh, Turner Schott.
Yes.
Her book on on phoenixes and angels, and it's all about the 12th house. And so I have been reading all morning with new eyes about the 12th house. I love Howard Sessportis' book, 12 Houses, the 12 houses. And so I think those are two places you could find information if you wanted to do a deep dive. But, off the cuff, the 12th house is where we experience not only, prisons of the mind, things that we're stuck in. Carmen points out that it's actually like a place where, if you think about people in uniform, like monasteries, nunneries, prisons, what was the other one that she brought up that was so good? I was like, gosh, every time you think about it, it's like this things that need to be uniform so that you can just kind of check out. You don't have to make a decision about what you're wearing. You don't have to make a decision about the schedule. You don't have to, it's just, you're in this kind of solace in this uniform place. The 12th house, it reveals a lot of our psychic side and our psychic tendencies. So setting intentions and wishes about your psychic business, if you're having a 12th house new moon, could be fun, especially when it comes to the collective and the network. So it might be a nice, yeah, Corey, I can add those books in the chat later, no problem. Desiree, it might be a nice time for you to start your own Facebook group, right? Or start your own group of psychic explorers. Things like that could happen. I'm just terrified that nobody can hear me.
I can hear you, Tiffany. I'm just setting up this
a code.
I'm trying to set up this coupon for
okay.
the discount.
Okay, and I'm gonna put Carmen Turner Schott's book in the link. It's called Phoenixes and Angels, and she is our colleague, wonderful astrologer. She's a psychological astrologer. I'm interviewing here on the same channel on Friday, so you can come ask her your questions too. But if it's being wonky, it's called Phoenixes and Angels, and she has just asked anytime we share, if you end up buying the book, to please leave a review for her on Amazon. It's really helpful. So it's 21 books for that particular one, and then the other one is Howard Sescortis. I don't even know if that's still in print. That was one of my first.
Sure, it is. It's one of the most popular astrology books. It's very good.
Okay, I see. Yeah. I see it. Yeah. Yeah. So studying the houses really helps you with your new moon studies because it gives you that extra flavor. Like we're all experiencing Aquarius cake with different icing. You know what I mean? And so if you guys know where it is in your charts and you want to ask us, we would be happy to discuss how it's affecting you personally too. But all of this energy is going out of it's all just in my second house right now, my money house. And so I'm taking a financial wealth builders course right now. I didn't have control over when it was starting. So that just kind of worked out organically. Celeste was taking a financial class this morning with astrology, wrapping up some of those wealth building things or setting things up with a foundation for the future right before things get intense. I think part is on point with it. So for me, having that new moon there really is just making a lot of sense.
Yeah. Mine's in my 8th house. King Kunk's my ascendant. I'm a little worried about a health issue because I'm going to have during this lunation Saturn, because King Kunks can be health issues. And yeah, and Saturn in the sky is coming to square my Mars, which is a classic health problem. And Saturn in Pisces, I was thinking, oh, it'll be a problem with my foot. Square Mars in Gemini. Oh, am I going to fall down? It's like the North Node is on my moon, so it puts the South Node opposite my moon, so that can be falling from a height. So I am really working to be extra careful about walking and not paying attention to other things. It might just be like my computer breaks down or somebody breaks into my car or something. I mean, there's so many things that could be coming with this transit, but there's going to be a little owie at some point with Saturn square Mars.
Right. Yeah. Right. Saturn and Mars are considered the malefics. However, if you take any of Kira's classes too, she talks about it from a health astrology point of view, medical astrology, where are they really the malefics? Because what we need is muscle and bones to get healthy again. And so she has a perspective that I think is shifting the way that I think about them as malefics anyways. And then Alice was asking, what does that mean? I think that, Alice, were you asking about a quincunx? A quincunx is 150 degrees when planets are 150 degrees away from each other. And it represents a bit of a challenge or some, how would you describe it, Celeste?
So quincunxes are like a fly buzzing in your ear. I think that's how Rick Levine describes it. It's like this irritating energy. So 150 degrees is the blind spot of our eyes where we can't see something, but something's there. And like this is when you can like move and you try to change lanes when you're driving and oop, there goes an accident. So the planets involved have nothing in common by sign, by
Element.
mode, meaning element, so fire, earth, air, water, or mode, cardinal, fixed, mutable. So I'm a 20-degree Cancer rising. So that's a water sign, and it's cardinal energy. And the new moon in a 20 Aquarius is an air sign, and it's fixed. So you see that's the 150-degree aspects. Now these are classic health aspects. So when people have natally in their chart, they have a quincunx, it speaks to something about a potential health thing in their lives that doesn't necessarily have to come to be, but at some point may come to be. It's there, it's possible. But in transit, it can be something about, I mean, Aquarius, an air sign. I could just get COVID. I could be some kind of big,
So or Saturn, like a bone spur, even something, you might just be proactive and get some chiropractic done, right? Like,
I do need to go to the chiropractor. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it could just be something because the ascendant is your vitality, and a new moon quincunx the ascendant so tightly. I'm just a little tiny bit worried about it.
Yeah, you're aware.
I'm aware that I need to be extra careful about my health and stuff. Like I went, for this upcoming new moon.
Don't step on any pretend stairs, right?
Oh no.
Okay. Alice, so she says no, it's not that wasn't her question, but at least we did a little thing on quincunx for everybody.
Well, now everybody has quincunxes move you into new situations where you have to release and let go of something. Yeah, now it rules taxes. So, oh Lord, please don't let me be audited. Like you can think about all sorts of things. Or it just could be earned success. I've been working hard. And it could just be about like working hard, feeling a little burned out.
I always get like the diving board symbol when I think about quincunx. It's like that boing, like it throws you off. It throws you into something else, and you might not be ready for it or want it, but it's there, and somebody pushed you off the cosmic diving board type of a feeling. So
I love that. Yeah, but you have to release and let go of something. Yeah. It's a little bit 8 of Swordsy, I feel like.
I can see that.
Is that a good analogy?
Is it 8 of Swords?
Or 8 of Cups, like moving away.
That's what I think you meant. 8 of Cups would make more sense.
Yeah.
And there's one deck. Okay, so I used to translate that as, walk away, don't look back, something's over. But there's one deck that they say, what's on the magical path ahead, and it really shifted the way that I see that card. It's like, yeah, there is something over, but there is also something on the magical path ahead. Like watch the steps form under your feet as you're going forward instead of looking back at what's happening back there, right? So Alice is saying that she doesn't have any degrees in her Aquarius in her chart. So you have 30 degrees in Aquarius of Aquarius in your chart. We all have 30 degrees of all of the zodiac sign. But if what you mean is that you don't have any planets in there, that's okay. We really want to know what house 20 Aquarius is. And so you would find that if you let me know what software you're using, I could probably help you out. If you're looking at astro.com, there's a function that says click download PDF, and it lists all of the houses for you. But let me know what you are working with so I can help you find those degrees. Um, Paclib, which is our friend Anne, says that she's got the new moon in her ninth house. And so the ninth house, right, thinking about travel overseas. I know that Anne's coming with me to Mexico in February. So having a new moon and with a group, Aquarius, right? So that's very perfect for your chart. I hope you don't mind my sharing some of that. So I know that the ninth house is not just about travel, but it's also about that education, that university level thinking, that philosophy, that desire, that quest for truth. And that is really reflected by going on an astrology treat in another company, another country, not company,
That's
another
perfect. Perfect. Yeah. Perfect
right?
time to study astrology a long way away. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know you're going to have a blast.
So
Yeah.
Alejandra is hers. It says Capricorn is my 10th house, whole house. So you would be in an 11th house if you're using whole house. So 11th house, right? Aquarius rules the 11th house, Alejandra. Um, so having a new moon in the 11th house, again, what groups are you hanging out with? Do you need to change it up a little bit? Do you need to, is there a group that isn't as fulfilling or satiating as it used to be? Are you ready to, I belong to like 300 groups on Facebook just because I haven't cleaned them out in forever, but I don't participate in all of them, right? Is this a time when you can go back through and clean it up and just focus on the networks that are really life-giving, sustaining, exciting to you? Is it a time when you're bridging two networks together? Like, hey, organization A, let me tell you about organization B. And are you bridging some gaps for some networks in your life? The 11th house rules tech, and is there something that you could do on an app that you didn't even realize? Is there a way to work smarter, not harder? Is there some what's the word, like automation that you could put into play that would be helpful for you in terms of your technology? What do you think?
I want to say that's beautiful. Also, Jan Spiller talks about how the 11th house, whenever you have a new moon there, that's the granddaddy power period. So you just
Oh,
put your wishes out to the universe. Just ask for what you want. Ask, believe, receive. Yeah. So you can just do that and see what comes to you. It may not be in the form so be specific as possible. And it may take time, that whole 27-month cycle, but there's a little extra lift from the universe for you with a 11th house new moon. Now, someone said they're having a sign of the times, I think it was, said you're having a 10th house new moon. And then you're trying to market your self-employed business. When you have a new moon in your 10th house, you are more visible out in the world. So it's a great time to set intentions. Now, I'm having a workshop tomorrow about this specific new moon, and you can use your coupon code Tiffany10 for $10 off. And you can come if you like. And I do as many hot takes on natal charts as I can. Yeah.
mhm.
And yeah, we can talk about it, but you really want to think about what do you want to bring to your business over the next 27 months. Think about, look at that 9 months. So there's a new moon in Aquarius, and in November there'll be a first quarter moon in Aquarius where the sun is in Scorpio, activating your chart around the same degree. So that can be a pin you put in. Where am I now? Where do I be 9 months from now? And I suggest you do some things that help push your visibility up, because you're more visible when there's a new moon, as the sun is going through your 10th house. Oop, Tiffany, are you frozen? Yeah, I think Tiffany's frozen again. Wow, let's see. Oh, good, sign of the times. I'm glad you found that helpful. Mm, yeah. Ooh, so Alice, you have Jupiter in Pisces at 7 degrees. Now, right now, Jupiter is in Taurus at about 7 degrees. So you have a sextile. Sextiles are opportunities. I wonder if Jupiter is transiting your second house. This can be a time when you have some kind of financial, like abundance, some kind of growth in your finances. This can be a beautiful time to take actions. You can also think about, yeah, let's see. Ooh, let's see. What else do I want to think about? Jupiter sextile. What are you investing in with Jupiter sextile your Jupiter sextile your Jupiter, natal Jupiter in Pisces? And your natal Jupiter is a beautiful Jupiter. It's in domicile. Jupiter rules Pisces. So yeah, you could make some money. I would get some lotto tickets. Yes, I would. Yeah, you only need one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I wonder if you'll get like a little raise or something. Could also just be about feeling, investing like good about your talents. The second house rules are talents. You may decide to make an investment in your talents in some way. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Are there any other? Oh, thank you, Alejandra. She says, I'm a blessing. Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. hmm Are there any other questions? Oh, I hope Tiffany can come back. Let's see. Ah, oh, her computer is rebooting. No worries. Yeah, so Tiffany's having problems. This is that Mars sextile Neptune. So really notice yeah, it's Mercury and Mars. This Mercury and Mars have been transiting together. I wonder if Tiffany's computer will go kapooey when Mercury, which rules computers, is conjunct Pluto. Mm. She might be taking it in or taking it into a shop or something like that, because Pluto can be like it's like needs to be broken down to the studs and rebuilt. So we'll see what happens with that. hmm Yeah. Oh yeah, it's 11:11. So hopefully with luck, she'll well now it's 11:13. Hopefully she with luck she'll be able to come back in. Mm. Tiffany said Mercury and Mars may be sending me to Best Buy after this. She's texting me. Yeah. Mm, it's so interesting. Saturn in the sky. For me, Saturn in Pisces is in my ninth house. Ninth house rules astrology, ninth house rules teaching. Um, and it's squaring my Venus in my 11th house of friends. And it's going to be perfecting, so exact on Sunday. So I've been watching to see what was coming. Whenever Saturn squares Venus, I like save money somehow by canceling a service or something. Um, but what was I going to say about this? Saturn square Venus. Uh, my friend Tiffany, the 11th house of friends, is having Saturnian problems. Yeah. hmm And Saturn squaring I have a Venus Neptune Venus Mars conjunction in. Oh, she's restarted 4 times. Ah, yeah, she's restarted 4 times. Mm. Oh yeah. Oh, how can your moon, my moon, bring in Aquarius? Oh, your moon's in Aquarius, and we're having an Aquarius new moon. Well, it's like a reboot, a reset. What degree is your moon in Aquarius, Tamalin? Oh, and Alejandra, the new moon is hitting your sun, which is square Saturn. Saturn in what? Saturn in Taurus or Saturn in Scorpio? So Tiffany is trying to log in from her phone now. Oh my God. Yeah, Tiffany's trying to log in from her phone. Mm. You know what? This is so funny. I thought it was going to be my computer that had problems. Remember, I was just talking about how Saturn is squaring it squares my Venus, and then it's squaring my Venus Mars in my house of friends. Yeah. Yeah, getting another laptop. Yes, get it before April 1st, even 2 weeks before that, because Mercury is going retrograde. Mhm. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Alejandra, I don't see. Is your Saturn in Taurus or Scorpio? This is so funny. Well, anyway, I will talk about Astrology Foundations 201, which is the class. Tiffany put the link in here if you want to come to this class. Yeah. It's taught on Wednesday nights at 5 p.m. and Thursdays at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And so the first of 5 classes starts on Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. They're interactive, taught live. You can have an optional study buddy. And this next class, you're going to be learning about house rulership. So who's the boss, it's called, so that you can take your astrology understanding to a deeper level. So you can go to astrologybyceleste.com and get the link. Oh no, it won't let her enter the studio. How can I? What? You are live. Lordy, today. This is something like, I don't know how we stop it. I don't know how we can stop oh, here she is. Oh my God. Babbling on. Oh, your sun is in Scorpio and your Saturn's in Aquarius. Okay, so your sun is in Scorpio. So let me just say, sun in the Scorpio, Saturn in Aquarius, and Uranus is in Taurus. So you've got this T square going on in your chart right now, and the outlet is in Leo. So how can you shine your light, be more authentically yourself? Can you stop, if you have let other people's judgment or your self-judgment keep you from being as authentic as expressing yourself as authentic as you want to be? Yeah, release that. Yeah. So welcome back, Tiffany.
Awesome. I feel like I'm in
of course,
jail or something.
I was talking about how, while you were gone, I was talking about how Saturn's in my ninth
Thanks for your
house.
patience, everyone.
Uh-oh. Tiffany, I think we better end this live. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Tiffany?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I think we should end this live before anything
else. We should do.
It's been wonderful. I think Mercury conjunct Pluto on Monday is going to be you getting your computer rebuilt or fixed or get a new one or something.
Something is up, and we just explored it publicly. So thank you, everybody, for your grace and patience. And I'm going to go see what's up with that. I look forward to hanging out with you again, Celeste. I love your class. Everybody come take Celeste 201 with me. It is so fun to explore the chart with Celeste. And so
hope to see you guys there, or in her new moon class tomorrow, or in my 4-hour moon workshop on February 10th. And for sure I'll have my tech fixed by then. But thanks, Celeste. Love you so much, and we'll see you next time, guys.
Sounds great, Tiffany. I hope your computer gets fixed easily.
Me too. What a trip. All right. Bye.
Bye.